Lucy Garcia had spent 3 years cleaning the Beverly Hills mansion without ever touching anything that wasn't hers. 3 years of being invisible, efficient, trusted. That Wednesday morning, her hands trembled as she held the envelope. $50,000, the exact amount she needed to save her daughter's life. What she didn't know was that Alexander Morrison hadn't left the house like she thought. From the adjacent room, through the reflection of an antique mirror, he watched every movement. He saw when she opened the envelope, saw the tears, saw the exact moment an honest woman crossed a line she swore she'd never cross. Alexander reached for his phone to call the police. Then he heard his mother's voice behind him. "Don't do it, son." Mercedes Morrison, lost most days in the fog of dementia, was perfectly lucid, and what she was about to reveal would change everything Alexander thought he knew about his family, about Lucy, and about the true meaning of justice. Because some secrets stay buried for decades, until someone desperate unearths them without meaning to. The alarm went off at 4:30 in the morning. Lucy silenced it before the second ring, like always. In the dim light of the South Central LA apartment, she turned on the kitchen light and put water on to boil. 2 cups of instant coffee, one for her, one for Sophia. Her daughter was already awake. Lucy found her in the living room, laptop open. "Sophia, go back to bed. I can't sleep knowing you work 16 hours because of me. It's not because of you. It's for you. There's a difference." "What difference?" Sophia closed the laptop harder than necessary. "The result's the same. You're killing yourself." Lucy sat beside her. Her 16-year-old daughter looked too thin, too pale. The cardiomyopathy had stolen the color from her cheeks. "What were you looking at?" "Nothing, Sophia. Job postings." The teenager lifted her chin with that stubbornness that reminded Lucy of her own youth. "I can get something part-time. Help with expenses. We've talked about this." "No, you talked. I just listened." Sophia stood, walked to the window. "Mom, I'm 16. I'm not a child. You're a child with a weak heart who needs to finish high school, not look for work. And who's gonna pay for the surgery? The tooth fairy?" The silence that followed hurt more than any scream. Lucy stood, kissed her daughter's forehead. "I'll handle it. You just focus on staying well." She left before Sophia could respond. The trip to Beverly Hills took an hour and a half, 2 buses and the metro. Lucy used the time to sleep 15 minutes, her head against the dirty window. The Morrison residence always seemed like another planet. 3 stories of modern architecture, perfect gardens, silence you could touch. Rosa, the cook, greeted her with fresh coffee. "You look tired." "I'm fine." "Lucy, you've been telling me you're fine for 3 years. Even you don't believe it anymore." Before Lucy could respond, a voice interrupted them. "Good morning. Has my mother had breakfast?" Victoria Morrison entered the kitchen with that air of someone constantly evaluating everything to find faults. 40 years old, tailored suit, perfume that probably cost more than Lucy's monthly salary. "Yes, Mrs. Morrison. Mrs. Mercedes already ate." "Perfect." But Victoria didn't leave. She stayed watching Lucy in that way that made her feel transparent. "You clean my mother's room on Wednesdays, right?" "Yes, ma'am." Victoria took her coffee. "Alexander's in his study. He has meetings all morning. Don't disturb him." When Victoria left, Rosa murmured, "That woman only comes when she wants something. It's not our business." "Everything's everyone's business in this house, Lucy. Learn that." Lucy went upstairs. Before cleaning anything, she always visited Mrs. Mercedes first. She found her sitting by the window, looking at the garden with a confused expression. "Good morning, Mrs. Mercedes." The elderly woman turned, her eyes, normally lost, focused for an instant. "Who are you?" "I'm Lucy. I'm here to help with breakfast." "Ah," Mercedes frowned. "I already ate, didn't I?" "I don't remember." "You already ate. I brought your favorite cookies." Lucy pulled from her bag a pack of chocolate chip cookies. She'd bought them with her last extra dollars, but Mercedes loved them, and no one else in the house remembered to buy them. The old woman's eyes lit up. "How did you know?" "Because I pay attention, Mrs. Mercedes." Lucy helped her settle into her favorite chair, served her tea, sat beside her while the woman ate slowly. "You have a daughter," Mercedes said suddenly. Lucy was surprised. Mercedes rarely remembered previous conversations. "Yes, Sophia. She's 16. She's sick." "Yes." Mercedes took Lucy's hand. For a moment, her eyes were completely lucid. "I also cleaned other people's houses, you know, many years ago. I know what it's like to work until your hands bleed." She squeezed Lucy's hand. "Whatever you need, have faith. Miracles happen for pure hearts. Lucy felt a knot in her throat. Thank you, Mrs. Mercedes. But the old woman had already returned to confusion, staring out the window as if searching for something she could no longer remember. Lucy stood, kissed her forehead, and left the room with a heavier heart than when she entered, because miracles didn't pay for surgeries, and she had exactly 2 weeks to get $50,000, or Sophia would lose her only chance to live. 3 days later, Lucy got the call from Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Mrs. Garcia, we need the deposit by Friday. If not, we lose the surgery date. Friday. 2 days. She hung up and stared at the apartment wall. Sophia was at school. The silence was crushing. Her phone vibrated. Text from Sophia. Mom, sorry for everything. I love you. Lucy called immediately. Voicemail. She called the school. Sophia Garcia didn't come in today, ma'am. Panic hit instantly. She searched the entire apartment. Found a note on the table. Went to look for work, don't worry. Back this afternoon. Lucy wanted to scream. Her daughter, with her weak heart, walking around under the May sun looking for work no place would give her. She arrived at the Morrison house almost running. Rosa noticed something. What happened? Nothing, I'm fine. Lie. But there was no time to explain. She went straight to Mercedes' room. She needed that space, that calm. The old woman was sleeping deeply. Lucy sat beside her and cried silently. Then she wiped her tears and went to Alexander's study. He was in a virtual meeting, camera off. Lucy entered without seeing him. Started cleaning. Alexander watched her through his screen's reflection. She looked different today. Broken. Then Lucy stopped. On the desk was a manila envelope. Alexander frowned. Why was Lucy staring at the envelope like that? She opened it. Time stopped. Alexander watched Lucy count the bills. Saw the tears fall. Saw the exact moment she put the money in her purse with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. He closed his laptop, abandoned the meeting, reached for his phone. Alexander? His mother stood at the door of the adjacent room. Mercedes with eyes clearer than he'd seen in months. Mom, Lucy just stole. She didn't. I saw her. She took $50,000 from my desk. Mercedes walked toward him with a firm step. Did you ask why? Because she's a thief. She's a mother. Mercedes looked at him hard. Before you call the police, son, investigate. Ask. And then look in the mirror and question, when was the last time you sacrificed something for love? Alexander was about to respond when he heard voices downstairs. Victoria. They went down together. Victoria came with Ricardo, her lawyer husband. Alex, good you're here. I need you to sign some documents about... Victoria stopped when she saw Lucy leaving the study, pale, clutching her purse against her chest. Victoria's eyes narrowed. What were you doing in there? Cleaning, Mrs. Morrison. Victoria entered the study, saw the empty envelope on the desk. Alexander, how much was in here? Silence. Victoria grabbed the envelope, turned to Lucy. Open your purse. I can explain. Ricardo. Victoria pulled out her phone. Call the police. Now. Victoria, wait. Alexander tried. No. You see why I say these people can't be trusted, you see? Then a voice stopped them all. Nobody's calling any police. Mercedes stood on the stairs, gripping the railing, with the most lucid and furious look Alexander had seen in years. Mom, go back to your room. Silence, Victoria. The tone made everyone freeze. Now you're going to listen to me, and you're not going to interrupt. Mercedes descended slowly, each step an effort but with unwavering dignity. Alexander, Victoria, do you know what I did when I was 19? Mom, that doesn't matter. I was a housekeeper. The words fell like a bomb. Victoria went white, and Mercedes wasn't finished. Mercedes descended the last step and walked toward Victoria. Your father never told you because you were ashamed of it, but I cleaned his family's house when I was your age. Washed floors, ironed shirts, served coffee to people who wouldn't even look at me. Mom, you're confused. I'm not confused. The fury in Mercedes's voice made Victoria step back. For the first time in months, I'm completely lucid. And I'm going to say what I've been holding back since I saw you measuring this house with an appraiser's eyes. Victoria clenched her jaw. William Morrison was the boss's son. He saw me differently. As a person, not furniture. Mercedes looked at Alexander. Your father chose to love me when his family threatened to disinherit him. And you know what I did when we got married and I had money for the first time? No one answered. I helped other housekeepers, in secret, because I knew what it was like to be between dignity and hunger. Mercedes turned toward Lucy, who remained paralyzed. This woman has a heart you two lost years ago. She pointed at Victoria and Alexander. If she took something, it was from desperation, not greed, like I would have done. That doesn't justify theft, Ricardo started. Theft? Mercedes walked toward him. Want to talk about theft, counselor? Or shall we discuss how Victoria embezzled funds from her own company last year? Victoria went pale. Ricardo looked at her. That's different. Victoria stammered. Different? Mercedes smiled without humor. Of course. When the rich take what isn't theirs, it's accounting error. When the poor do it to survive, it's crime. Alexander watched his mother as if seeing her for the first time. Mom, why didn't you ever say anything? Because your father asked me not to. He wanted to protect me from judgment. Mercedes touched her son's face. But I don't need protection anymore. I need you to understand. Before you destroy this woman, ask yourself what brought her here. She turned to Lucy, took her hand. Go home, daughter. Take care of your girl. I'll fix this. Lucy shook her head. Mrs. Mercedes, I took the money. I should face. No. Mercedes squeezed her hand. You're going to Sophia, and you're going to use that money to save her life, understood? Tears ran down Lucy's face. But you, I'll be fine. Mercedes pushed her gently toward the door. Go. Lucy looked at Alexander, at Victoria, and ran out. Victoria exploded as soon as the door closed. Mom, what did you just do? Justice. You let a criminal escape. Mercedes turned to her daughter with steel eyes. The only criminal here is you, Victoria. Stealing from your company. Pressuring me to put me in a home and sell my house. Being ashamed of your own roots. I didn't. Yes. Mercedes walked toward her. Ever since you found my housekeeper uniform in that trunk when you were 15, you've treated me like a shameful secret. You think I didn't notice? Victoria had tears in her eyes, but they were from rage. I did everything to protect the family name. No, you did it to protect your ego. Mercedes wobbled slightly. Alexander steadied her. Lucy treated me better in 6 months than you have in 6 years. She buys me cookies with her own money, sings to me when I'm confused, sees me as a person, because she wants something from you. She never asked for anything, Mercedes shouted. Nothing. And when she finally took something, it was for love of her daughter, not ambition. The lucidity was beginning to leave Mercedes' eyes. Alexander noticed. Mom, sit down. Not yet. Mercedes looked at Victoria. If you call the police, I disinherit you. Completely. You can't. This house is in my name. I can do what I want. Mercedes was breathing hard. And if you touch Lucy, you lose everything. Victoria grabbed her purse. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Here. Now. Victoria looked at Ricardo. Are you coming or not? Ricardo hesitated, then followed his wife. Before leaving, he turned to Alexander. I'm sorry. The door closed. Mercedes collapsed onto the sofa. Confusion returned to her eyes. Where am I? Home, Mom. You're home. Why am I so tired? Alexander carried her, took her to her room. By the time he laid her down, Mercedes didn't remember anything that had happened. Alexander? Is it dinner time? No, Mom. It's rest time. Okay. Mercedes closed her eyes. But there was something important I had to tell you. Something about, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Rest. When Mercedes fell asleep, Alexander returned to the study, saw the empty envelope, saw his reflection in the mirror where he'd watched everything. He took his phone, dialed. I need you to investigate someone. Lucy Garcia. I want to know everything. Family, debts, medical history, everything. He hung up. Then he searched Mercedes' room until he found what he was looking for. An old trunk hidden in the closet. Inside was a housekeeper uniform, perfectly preserved, and a diary. Alexander opened it with trembling hands. March 15, 1977. Mr. William looked at me today. Not like a boss looks at a maid, but like a person. For the first time in this house, I felt seen. He closed the diary, pressing it against his chest. His mother hadn't lied, and Victoria knew. The question was, what else didn't he know about his own family? And more important, what was he going to do about Lucy? Alexander spent the entire night reading Mercedes's diary. June 8, 1977. Mrs. Morrison yelled at me today because a cup broke. It wasn't my fault, but maids are never right. William defended me in front of his mother. She slapped him. He didn't apologize. October 12, 1977. William proposed. His family threatens to disown him. He's scared but says he loves me more than money. I don't know if I should believe him. December 20th, 1977. We married in secret. His family didn't come. Mine couldn't. Too poor for the trip to LA. Just us two against the world. Alexander closed the diary at dawn. His eyes were red. His phone rang at 7. "Boss, I have the Garcia report. Send it." The file arrived in seconds. Alexander read, Lucy Garcia Ortega, 42 years old, divorced. Daughter, Sofia Garcia, 16 years old, dilated cardiomyopathy. Scheduled surgery, December 22nd. Cost, $280,000. Paid, $230,000. Remaining, $50,000. Current jobs, 4. Monthly income, $3,200. Debts, $67,000. Work reputation, impeccable at all jobs. Never a complaint. There were photos. The building where they lived in South Central. Sofia leaving school, emaciated. Lucy entering a payday loan office. The last image hit him. Lucy at the bus stop, crying while talking on the phone. Alexander closed the laptop. Meanwhile, Lucy arrived home to find Sofia on the couch, asleep with the laptop open. On screen, jobs for minors, Los Angeles. Lucy closed the computer. Sofia woke up. "Mom, where were you?" Sofia sat up, rubbing her eyes. "I looked for work at 8 places. Nobody wants to hire a minor with medical issues." She made air quotes. "Like I'm defective." "You're not defective. Then why doesn't anyone want me?" Lucy sat beside her. The silence was heavy. "Sofia, I have the money for surgery." Her daughter turned sharply. "What? How?" "That doesn't matter. I have it." "Mom." Sofia grabbed her shoulders. "What did you do?" Lucy couldn't hold her gaze. "What I had to do." No. Sofia stood up. "Did you borrow from someone dangerous? Are you going to get in trouble?" "I'm already in trouble, mija, but you're going to live. That's all that matters." Sofia started crying. "I don't want to live if you're going to suffer for it." "Don't say that. Never say that. It's the truth. Mom, my whole life I've watched you kill yourself for me. When is it your turn?" "My turn comes when you're okay. When you graduate. When you're a doctor like you want. Then it's my turn." Sofia hugged her mother hard. "I love you so much it hurts." "Me too, baby, me too." They stayed like that, embracing, until Lucy's phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello? Mrs. Garcia, this is Alexander Morrison." Pause. "I need you to come to my house tomorrow at 2. We need to talk." "Mr. Morrison, I can explain." "Not over the phone, tomorrow, 2 o'clock. He hung up. Lucy stared at the phone with shaking hands. Sofia watched her. "Who was it?" "My boss." "And?" Lucy took a deep breath. "I think he's going to fire me." Or something worse, she thought. Something much worse. Lucy didn't sleep that night. At 6 in the morning, Sofia entered her room. "I'm going with you." "No. It's not optional, Mom. If you're facing consequences because of me, I'm going to be there." Lucy was about to argue, but the determination in her daughter's eyes reminded her of herself at 16. Stubborn. Brave. Stupidly brave. Okay. They arrived at 2 o'clock sharp. Rosa greeted them with a tight hug. "Good luck." Alexander was in the living room, not his study. More informal, or more dangerous. Lucy didn't know which. "Mr. Morrison, this is my daughter Sofia." Alexander observed the teenager. Thin, pale, but with eyes that didn't back down. "Nice to meet you, Sofia. You're going to report my mom, right?" The direct question caught him off guard. "Sofia," Lucy warned. "No. Let her talk." Alexander sat. "Why do you think that?" "Because you have every right. She took your money. But before you do, you should know why." "Sofia, don't." "Mom, no." Sofia turned to Alexander. "I have cardiomyopathy. I need surgery or I die. Simple. My mom worked a year at 4 jobs to save $230,000. She was $50,000 short. She went to every bank. They said no. Went to lenders. They said no." Her voice broke. "Even went to loan sharks who treated her like trash." "Sofia, enough." "No." Sofia had tears in her eyes. "He needs to know. I told my mom I was going to drop out of school to work. She panicked. And then she did the only thing she could to save me." Sofia looked Alexander straight in the eyes. "If you're calling the police, do it. But know that you're sending the only person who loves me in this world to prison, and you're signing my death sentence." "Sofia, sit down," Lucy ordered. The teenager obeyed, wiping tears with fury. Alexander didn't speak for a long moment. Finally, he opened a folder on the table. "I investigated." He pulled out papers. "Your disease, the debts, the loan rejections, everything." Lucy closed her eyes. "I also investigated my mother." He pulled out old photos. "Found this in her room." The photographs showed young Mercedes in a housekeeper uniform. The diary, marriage documents. My mother wasn't lying. She was a housekeeper. My father was her employer. They married against his family's wishes. Sophia took the photos, fascinated. That's why she understood my mom. That's why. Alexander leaned forward. Lucy, I saw when you took the money. Everything. From the next room, through the mirror. Lucy felt nauseous. I was going to call the police, but my mother stopped me. And after reading her story, investigating yours, I understood something. What? Sophia asked. That $50,000 for me is a business dinner. For you, it's life or death. Alexander closed the folder. And that's wrong. Deeply wrong. Someone knocked. Rosa entered, nervous. Excuse me? There's a lawyer at the door. Says she's from Mrs. Victoria. Lucy's stomach dropped. Lawyer? A 35-year-old woman entered without waiting. Good afternoon, Dr. Patricia Ruiz. I represent Victoria Morrison Salazar. She spread legal documents on the table. Mrs. Garcia, I'm here to notify you of a lawsuit for embezzlement. Preliminary hearing is Monday at 9. Sophia stood up. What? Victoria can't, Alexander started. She can. As co-owner of this property, she has the legal right to prosecute. The sentence for this type of crime is 1 to 3 years in prison. Lucy couldn't breathe. Sophia hugged her. No. Furthermore, Dr. Ruiz continued, in case of conviction, social services will evaluate the minor's situation. Possible temporary state custody while mother serves sentence. What does that mean? Sophia asked. It means they'd take you away from me, Lucy whispered. Alexander stood. This is ridiculous. I'm going to talk to Victoria. Talk all you want, Mr. Morrison. The documents are already filed. The lawyer collected her briefcase. Mrs. Garcia, I suggest you get legal representation. Good day. She left. The silence was deafening. The auditorium at UCLA Medical School was packed. Lucy Garcia, now 47 with silver streaks she didn't try to hide, squeezed Alexander's hand as they waited. You're nervous, he said. Aren't you? Terrified. He smiled. But Mercedes would be proud. In the empty seat beside them, a framed photograph of Mercedes rested with a small package of chocolate chip cookies. The name echoed through the speakers. Sophia Garcia, MD. Lucy stood before her daughter, even crossed the stage, tears already falling. Sophia, 21, was no longer the pale, fragile teenager. She walked tall, healthy, with a smile that lit up the room. She received her medical degree, found her mother in the crowd, and blew her a kiss. Lucy couldn't stop crying. At the restaurant, a small group celebrated. Lucy, Sophia, Alexander with his wife Carolina, Rosa, and Victoria. Yes, Victoria. The last 5 years had been long. After that lawsuit, Ricardo, secretly, had given Alexander the legal defense that saved Lucy. The case was dismissed when Mercedes, in her final miraculous lucidity, testified in court withdrawing all charges. Victoria, furious, pulled away. But 2 years later, after finding Mercedes's complete diaries and facing her own divorce, something in her broke. She showed up at the foundation one day, unannounced, with a check and an apology. It wasn't easy, it wasn't quick, but it was real. Now she worked as pro bono legal counsel for the Mercedes Hope Foundation. I want to make an announcement, Sophia said, standing. Everyone went quiet. I was accepted into pediatric cardiology residency at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Lucy covered her mouth. The same hospital where Sophia had been operated on 5 years ago. I want to specialize in cardiomyopathy. Sophia looked at her mother. I want to be for other kids what those doctors were for me. The difference between dying and living. Alexander raised his glass. To Sophia, from patient to doctor. Mercedes would be bursting with pride. She is, Victoria said quietly. Wherever she is, she's proud. They toasted. Later at the cemetery, the three, Lucy, Alexander, and Sophia, visited Mercedes' grave. The headstone had a new inscription. Mercedes Lopez Morrison, 1957-2025. From housekeeper to matriarch, from invisible to unforgettable, love always wins. And below, a plaque with the names of the 2,347 families the foundation had helped in 5 years. Sophia placed her new white coat on the grave for a moment. Thank you, Grandma Mercedes, because that's what you were, my grandmother of the heart. Lucy placed the weekly package of chocolate chip cookies. 5 years and I still bring your favorites. Will you always do it? Sophia asked. As long as I breathe. Alexander looked at the photo on the headstone. Young Mercedes, smiling. Remember when she said miracles happen for pure hearts? She was the miracle, Lucy said. No, Sophia shook her head. She taught us to make miracles, to see the invisible, to choose love over pride, to build bridges. The following week, they inaugurated the new pediatric wing at LA County Hospital, Mercedes Lopez Morrison Pediatric Wing. Sophia would be one of the residents assigned there. During the ceremony, Lucy gave a brief speech. Mercedes saw me when I was invisible, defended me when I deserved punishment, loved me when I was just the housekeeper. She paused. This wing isn't a monument. It's continuation of her work, to see, to value, to save. Then they unveiled the mural Sophia had painted in the lobby. 3 women, young Mercedes in housekeeper uniform looking toward the horizon. Adult Lucy, holding the hand of elderly Mercedes and young Sophia. Sophia in a white coat treating a young patient. The title, The Legacy of the Invisible. And below, the phrase Mercedes had said 5 years ago. There are no invisible people, only people who haven't been seen yet. That night, Sophia stayed alone in the empty pediatric wing, walking between beds that would soon be filled with sick children. She stopped in front of the window overlooking the garden. Mercedes' garden. Thank you, Grandma, she whispered to the glass, for seeing me, for saving me, for teaching us. In the window's reflection, for one impossible second, she saw young Mercedes in her housekeeper uniform, smiling and giving a thumbs up. Sophia blinked. The reflection disappeared. Imagination? Exhaustion? Miracle? It didn't matter, because the legacy was real. Mercedes, invisible to so many in life, had become unforgettable in death, and her lesson remained. Love always wins. Always. Sophia smiled at the empty window, touched the glass where she'd seen the reflection, and left the wing. Tomorrow she'd start her residency. Tomorrow she'd save lives. Tomorrow she'd honor the woman who had changed everything. Because Mercedes was right. Miracles do happen, for pure hearts who dare to see beyond the obvious. And Sophia had learned to see. They all had. The end. This story is for all the Mercedes of the world, the invisible housekeepers, the mothers who sacrifice in silence, the women no one sees but who change everything. They're not invisible. They're silent miracles. See them. Do you know a Mercedes in your life? Someone invisible who deserves to be seen? Drop their name in the comments. Let's honor them together. If this story touched your heart, hit that and share it with someone who needs to remember that love always wins. Subscribe for more stories that will make you think about what really matters. Remember, there are no invisible people, only people who haven't been seen yet. Be the one who sees them today.